Tim Walz's brother Jeff Walz made a splash on the national stage recently when he revealed that he is against his brother's ideology and is a Trump-supporting MAGA lunatic. But in an exclusive interview with News Nation, it appears that Jeff Walz may have hyped himself up a little too much because MAGA world is not happy with what he said, and he's got some serious egg on his face. This all started when Laura Loomer, who's a MAGA internet troll, posted the following on Twitter. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are such a bad presidential ticket that Walz's own brother is supporting Donald Trump instead. According to these FEC records, Jeff Walz, the brother of VP candidate Tim Walz, donated to President Trump's presidential campaign in 2016. Jeff Walz lives in Florida. Perhaps I'll go interview and ask him about his support for Donald Trump. And then she posted some records here that show that Jeff Walz, the brother of Tim Walz, donated $20 to Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. And then Detective Laura Loomer continued to work the case and posted the following. Jeff Walz, the brother of Democrat vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, donated to President Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and said, "We've just become a third world banana republic" on his Facebook page on March 30th, 2023, which is the same exact day the Biden-Harris regime had Donald Trump indicted in New York City. Tim Walz's own brother believes that Kamala Harris is overseeing a banana republic. Now she's running for president with Jeff's brother. Laura Loomer's story on Twitter brought some new attention to Jeff Walz's Facebook page, and he responded to new comments that were made with the following. Somebody posted on his Banana Republic comment and said, "Have a talk with your brother." And Jeff responded and said, "I haven't spoke to him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to all his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected and denied security the days after." And another commenter said, "Help MAGA. Get on stage with President Trump and endorse him. Help save this country." And Jeff Walz responded, "I've thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future." And it was that comment that got Jeff Walz a lot more attention. Because if he had some stories about Tim Walz that the world didn't know, then perhaps he could help out Trump tremendously. So obviously people were very excited to talk to him and hear some of these stories. And that led to an exclusive interview with News Nation. And the whole MAGA world was on the edge of their seat. But Trump fans were about to be highly disappointed.
In an exclusive interview with News Nation, Jeff Walz, brother of Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz, says he wants to set the record straight after criticizing his brother Tim on Facebook, saying he's not the type of character who should make decisions about our future and that he's, quote, 100% opposed to all his ideology. Former President Donald Trump quickly pounced, praising Jeff on Truth Social, writing, "Sounds like a really great guy," despite saying to his Facebook friends that he had thought long and hard about endorsing Trump on stage. Now he tells News Nation he wants no part of the election.
And we're not campaigning or anything for him or against him or anything like that.
Jeff Walz was talking a big game on Facebook, saying maybe I will get on stage with Donald Trump and support his campaign. But his tune has changed dramatically and he's singing a different song now. But watch, the interview continues and it continues to get better and better.
It was a post that I made because I was getting a lot of feedback from my friends, old acquaintances, thinking that I was feeling the same way that my brother did on the issues. And I was trying to clarify that just to friends. I used Facebook, which wasn't the right platform to do that for.
The old, I shouldn't have posted that on Facebook. My bad. But the interview ends in an amazing way where Jeff Walz admits that he never had any dirt on his brother, Tim Walz.
He says, "There are no bombshells."
The stories I said I was referencing, I'll give you one example. We talked about it before, that my little brother, when we were younger, we would go on family trips and in a station wagon. And the thing was, nobody wanted to sit with him because he had car sickness and would always throw up on us. That sort of thing. There's really nothing else hidden behind there. People are assuming something else.
So all that big boy noise just to admit you got nothing on Tim Walz. How sad. And it doesn't sound like this was a good experience for Jeff Walz, because he said the following.
And this is the last the media will hear from him.
There is going to be no further statements to anybody.
Now, the Harris-Walz campaign did not respond to our request for comment. I did ask Jeff Walz who he'll be voting for. He said, "I'd prefer not to say." Elizabeth?
Sounds like Jeff is trying to back out of that political spotlight as quickly as he inadvertently backed into it. Rich McHugh, great reporting. Right. Thank you.
So all that hype about Jeff Walz, the brother of Tim Walz, having some bad stories about him that will change how people feel about him, turned out to be nothing. He overhyped it. He was just bragging and saying nonsense on Facebook, and according to him, didn't think the world would take note. Meanwhile, he got Donald Trump's attention and all these right-wing newspapers and newscasters and influencers to talk about what he said, and he probably felt terrible because it turns out he hasn't talked to his brother in like 8 years, and he only got one family, so I'm sure he would want to be close to him. You know, we all want to try to be close to our family. That being said, it turns out Tim Walz is just a solid guy, but the MAGA world's going to spend the next 2 months between now and the election trying to dig up something on him. In their eyes, there's got to be something wrong with him, but so far, nothing has stuck. All their attacks about his military service, and he said this and that 15 years ago, none of it has had any impact on the race at all. And I have a feeling that we will continue to get through this campaign without Tim Walz having any big controversies in his past, because he is a great choice. He'll make a great vice president. And all I got to say to the MAGA world is congratulations on your giant L. Keep up the good work.